We're gonna look at 3 different phrasal verbs in this video. 3 different phrasal verbs. The first phrasal verb is to catch on. To catch on means to understand. First example, I couldn't catch on what he was saying. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I caught on what he was saying. I caught on what he was saying. I understand what he was saying. I understand. I caught on. I understand. If you catch on, you understand. If you don't catch on, you don't understand. Are you starting to catch on? Are you starting to understand? Are you starting to catch on? Are you starting to understand? Another example. I couldn't catch on to the joke he told me. I couldn't catch on to the joke he told me. So I couldn't understand the joke he told me. I couldn't catch on the joke he told me. So I couldn't understand, I couldn't catch on. Or you could also say something like, my boss speaks too fast. It's hard to catch on. My boss speaks too fast. It's hard to understand. It's hard to catch on. To catch on also means to become popular. To become popular. So everybody knows. If something is popular, everybody knows. So surfing became popular in the 1960s. Surfing became popular in the 1960s. Surfing became popular. Surfing caught on in the 1960s. Surfing caught on in the 1960s. So surfing became popular in the 1960s. Surfing caught on in the 1960s. Or you could also say that pop rock became popular in the 1950s. It became popular, it caught on. So everybody knows now it became popular. So it caught on in the 1950s. Pop rock became popular in the 1950s. These are 2 different meanings for catch on. The first meaning is to understand, and the second meaning is to become popular. Following, we have the phrasal verb own up to. Own up to. If you own up to, you admit that you did something wrong and it was your fault. Or you can talk about that as if you're talking about companies or institutions. So if something or someone owns up to, they are admitting, hey, that was my fault. I did that. That was my mistake. For example, if we do something bad, we have to own up to the responsibility. We have to own up to the responsibility. If we do something bad, we have to admit and we have to take the responsibility to ourselves. We did something wrong. Now we have to own up to our responsibilities. For example, if you're an oil company, maybe the company, they don't own up to the environmental damage they create, right? So they don't own up the environmental damage they create. They don't admit, they don't confess, they don't say, hey, this is our fault. So they don't own up to their mistakes or to their damage. So they don't own up to, they don't admit. They say, hey, that's not our fault. But if they own up to, they say, hey, that's our fault. We're gonna try to save the environment somehow. So we own up to the environmental damage. Now we admit our mistake. We know that it's our fault, so we own up to that. And now this last one is informal. So you would mostly want to use in casual conversations. If it's informal, in this case, doesn't mean that you cannot use it, right? You can only use it in casual conversations and with friends, or if you're just like having a friendly conversation with someone. If you say level with, to level with, hey, I'm gonna level with you. This restaurant right there is not very good. Or I went there for my wedding, but it isn't very good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you the truth about that restaurant. I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna be very sincere, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. That restaurant is not very good. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna level with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Another example, if maybe you're talking to someone and you ask, hey, how is this company? Is it good there? Do you work there? Is it good? The person may come to you and say, I'm gonna level with you. The payment is not very good. There are not many chances for promotion. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be sincere. I'm gonna tell you like it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna level with you. You can also say, I'll be very level with you. Level now becomes an adjective. So level as an adjective. I'm gonna be very level with you. I'm gonna be very sincere with you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. The company is not very good. Everybody thinks it's good, but it's not as good as people think. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna be honest and sincere with you. These are our 3 phrasal verbs for today. The first one is to catch on. To catch on means to understand or to become popular, right? The second one is to own up to. Own up to admit and say, hey, that was my fault. I own up to that. I broke the window. I own up to that. That was my fault and I admit it. That was my mistake. I own up to that. I admit it and I take responsibility. I own up to that. And the third one, to level with. To level with, to be honest. I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be honest with you, right? So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be sincere. I'm going to tell you the truth about this. So I'm going to level with you. These are the 3 phrasal verbs. I hope you learned something with this video. And if you did, please leave it a like, a comment. And if you're not already subscribed, you could subscribe to the channel. It would make me a huge favor. Thank you so much for watching and see you again in the next video. Bye.